Abiy Ahmed takes a personal interest in and oversees these superficial projects, treating them as his own pet initiatives. Many of these endeavors are funded through foreign aid and loans. He takes pride in showcasing these projects to esteemed guests, presenting them as personal achievements. Abiy's focus seems to be on high-profile initiatives, often at the expense of crucial infrastructure like schools, hospitals, and roads. Critics argue that he appears disconnected from the daily struggles of the most vulnerable individuals in his country, living in a separate reality. This has resulted in the neglect of important priorities like reconstructing the war-torn economy and resettling the 5 million displaced Ethiopians. Additionally, Abiy has put forth plans for the construction of a $15 billion palace, even as the country is in dire need of resources to reconstruct hospitals and schools in the aftermath of the civil war. The ongoing construction of Abiy Ahmed's Imperial Palace on a sprawling 504-hectare plot in the Yeka hills of Addis Ababa is undeniably extravagant. In terms of sheer size, it surpasses the collective areas of iconic landmarks such as Windsor in the UK, Versailles in France, the White House in the USA, the Kremlin in Russia, and the Forbidden City in China. The estimated cost of the palace project is astronomical, potentially exceeding $15 billion, which is nearly equivalent to Ethiopia's entire annual budget of $14.6 billion. This enormous allocation of funds for the palace's construction sharply contrasts with the grim reality of Ethiopia's basic infrastructure. The nation grapples with deteriorating roads, inadequate healthcare facilities, struggling schools, and a lack of essential services, all of which have been exacerbated by the devastating impact of a civil war. This stark disparity between the opulent palace project and the pressing needs of the population underscores the influence of what some may refer to as the prosperity gospel mentality, a belief system that emphasizes personal prosperity and success while potentially disregarding the hardships of others. The stark contrast between the lavish palace project and the pressing needs of the population underscores the impact of a prosperity gospel mindset, often linked to the idea of divine order and spiritual guidance. This belief system places a heavy emphasis on personal prosperity and success, sometimes at the expense of recognizing the harsh realities around you or the suffering of others, while focusing on surrounding oneself with opulent possessions and beauty. When parliamentarians inquired about the funding sources for these projects, he adamantly claimed that they were financed through his personal endeavors, thereby excluding them from parliamentary oversight regarding budgets. This effectively conveyed that he considered the matter none of their concern. However, it's important to note that as a leader, he should be held accountable for all actions and decisions made while in office, and the notion of personal effort in this context raises questions about transparency and accountability. This demeanor is reminiscent of the unchecked power wielded by 18th century monarchs, lacking the checks and balances that are integral to modern governance.